Welcome to ABD's Creations. Tonight, leave the noise of the world behind and step into a place where moonlight whispers through ancient trees, gentle rivers sing, and hope quietly finds its way home. Get comfortable, close your eyes, and let the journey begin. Far beyond the last quiet town, hidden behind endless mountains, there was a place almost forgotten by time. Few people had ever seen it, yet stories about it traveled from one generation to another. They called it the Secret Valley, a peaceful land where silence carried old dreams and every breeze felt like a gentle lullaby. On a cool autumn evening, a young traveler named Evelyn followed a narrow trail through an ancient pine forest. The sky glowed softly with shades of gold and lavender as daylight slowly disappeared behind the mountains. A gentle breeze carried the scent of pine trees, damp earth, and wildflowers. Evelyn had wandered for many weeks without a clear destination. Every road led somewhere, yet none truly felt like home. She wasn't searching for treasure or adventure. Deep inside, she longed for a quiet place where her restless heart could finally rest. As the forest grew deeper, the sounds of the outside world slowly faded. There were no busy roads, no distant voices, only the soft rustle of leaves, birds settling into their nests, and the calm whisper of the evening wind. After walking for hours, she noticed a narrow stone path almost hidden beneath moss and fallen leaves. It looked untouched, as if no one had walked there for many years. Something about it felt warm and welcoming, and without hesitation, she quietly followed it. The path climbed gently between tall trees until the forest suddenly opened before her. Beyond the trees lay a breathtaking valley bathed in the final golden light of sunset. A crystal-clear river reflected the orange sky while small wooden cottages rested peacefully among blooming wildflowers. Thin curls of smoke drifted from stone chimneys, and the entire valley seemed wrapped in perfect stillness. Evelyn stopped and smiled softly. For the first time in many months, she felt no need to keep walking. She simply stood there, breathing the cool evening air, listening to the quiet melody of the flowing river, as the peaceful valley welcomed her home. The stone path curved gently through the valley, leading Evelyn deeper into the peaceful landscape. Every step felt lighter than the last, as though the valley itself carried away the worries she had held for so long. The cool evening air wrapped around her like a warm blanket, and the distant sound of the river created a gentle rhythm that calmed every thought in her mind. Small lanterns lined the ancient path. Their soft, golden light flickered quietly, though there was no wind to move the flames. Evelyn paused beside one of them and noticed something unusual. The lantern wasn't burning with fire. Instead, a tiny silver glow floated inside, shining like a captured star. She smiled softly and continued walking. Above her, countless stars slowly appeared across the darkening sky. They seemed brighter here than anywhere she had ever been. Even the moonlight looked softer, bathing the valley in a peaceful silver glow that made every flower and every tree appear almost magical. Soon, she reached the great silver tree she had seen from afar. It was even more magnificent up close. Its enormous branches stretched across the valley like gentle arms protecting everything beneath them. Thousands of silver leaves shimmered quietly, creating a soothing melody whenever they touched one another. The sound was unlike ordinary leaves. It was soft, slow, and comforting, almost like a distant lullaby carried through the night. Around the roots of the ancient tree rested dozens of smooth stone benches covered with soft green moss. Everything looked untouched by time, yet perfectly cared for. Evelyn quietly sat down. She closed her eyes for a moment and listened. The whispering leaves, the flowing river, the gentle songs of distant night birds. For the first time in many years, her mind became completely still. As she opened her eyes again, she noticed something moving beneath the silver branches. A tiny white fox stepped quietly into the moonlight. Its snowy fur shimmered with a gentle silver glow, and its bright blue eyes reflected the stars above. The little fox wasn't frightened. Instead, it looked at Evelyn with calm curiosity before slowly walking toward her. When it stopped only a few steps away, it lowered its head politely, almost as if welcoming a long-awaited guest. Without making a sound, the fox turned toward another narrow trail disappearing behind the great silver tree. Then it looked back at Evelyn once more. It wasn't asking. It was inviting. With a peaceful smile, Evelyn rose from the stone bench. She took one slow breath beneath the glowing branches, and quietly followed the little white fox into the heart of the mysterious valley. The little white fox walked silently ahead, its soft silver fur glowing beneath the moonlight. Evelyn followed without hesitation, her footsteps gentle against the moss-covered trail. The deeper they traveled into the valley, the quieter everything became. Soon, the narrow path entered another forest unlike the one she had crossed before. The trees here were older, much older. Their trunks were wide enough that several people could stand inside them, and their branches stretched high into the night sky, forming a peaceful canopy where thousands of tiny stars shimmered between the leaves. A cool breeze drifted through the forest. As it touched the branches, Evelyn paused. She could hear whispers. Not frightening whispers. Soft ones. Gentle voices that floated through the leaves like distant songs. She listened carefully. The words were impossible to understand, yet somehow they filled her heart with warmth and comfort. The white fox stopped beside one enormous tree whose silver bark glowed faintly beneath the moonlight. Its roots spread across the ground like ancient rivers, covered with soft emerald moss and tiny glowing flowers. Evelyn slowly reached out her hand. The moment her fingertips touched the bark, a warm light spread gently across the tree. Golden memories appeared like tiny floating lights around her. She saw children laughing beneath sunny skies, families gathered beside warm fireplaces, friends smiling beneath autumn trees. Small moments of kindness, quiet moments of love, simple memories that often disappear beneath the noise of everyday life. None of them belonged to Evelyn. Yet every memory felt strangely familiar. A peaceful feeling filled her heart. The fox quietly sat beside her, watching without making a sound. After a few moments, the glowing memories slowly drifted upward, becoming tiny stars that disappeared into the night sky. The ancient forest grew silent once again. Evelyn smiled softly. She finally understood. This wasn't a forest that whispered secrets. It whispered hope. Every tree quietly protected the happiest memories of those who had once found their way into the secret valley. No memory was ever lost. No beautiful moment was ever forgotten. The valley simply kept them safe until someone needed to remember that light still existed. The white fox stood once more and continued walking deeper into the forest. This time, Evelyn noticed something waiting ahead. Between the towering trees stood an old wooden bridge stretching across a slow-moving crystal river. Moonlight reflected across the water like thousands of tiny diamonds, while soft mist floated gently above the surface. Beyond the bridge, a warm golden light shimmered in the distance. It looked as though another hidden part of the valley was waiting quietly for her arrival. Taking a slow breath, Evelyn stepped toward the bridge, following the little white fox into the peaceful unknown. The old wooden bridge stretched quietly across the crystal river, its weathered planks glowing beneath the silver moon. The little white fox stepped onto it without making a sound. Evelyn followed slowly, feeling the cool wood beneath her boots. The river below was unlike any river she had ever seen. The water was perfectly clear, reflecting not only the moon and stars above but also tiny lights drifting beneath its surface like peaceful dreams floating through the current. She paused in the middle of the bridge. Looking down, she noticed gentle ripples forming without a single breeze. Then the water began to change. Instead of reflecting the night sky, it revealed peaceful moments from distant lives. A father reading a bedtime story beside a warm fireplace. A little girl laughing as she chased butterflies through a summer meadow. An elderly couple sitting quietly on a wooden porch, watching the sunset without speaking a word. None of the moments lasted more than a few seconds. They appeared softly, then drifted away with the flowing water. Evelyn watched in complete silence. The scenes were simple. There were no grand adventures, no castles, no kings. Only ordinary moments filled with love, kindness, and peace. She suddenly understood why they felt so beautiful. The happiest memories were often the quietest ones. The little white fox turned and waited patiently beside the end of the bridge. As Evelyn stepped forward again, the river slowly returned to its crystal reflection, carrying the glowing lights farther into the valley. Beyond the bridge, the landscape became even more magical. Tall grass shimmered beneath the moonlight like silver waves. Tiny blue flowers opened only at night, filling the cool air with a sweet fragrance. Fireflies floated lazily above the meadow, moving together like gentle stars dancing close to the earth. Far ahead stood a small cottage with warm golden light glowing through its windows. Thin curls of smoke rose peacefully from its stone chimney. Someone lived there. Yet the valley remained completely silent. There was no sound of voices, no footsteps, only the gentle music of nature. The white fox walked toward the cottage, then stopped beside a wooden gate covered with climbing roses. It looked back at Evelyn once more. Its bright blue eyes carried the same calm invitation as before. Evelyn smiled gently. Every step through the secret valley felt less like discovering a new place, and more like remembering somewhere she had always belonged. With one slow breath beneath the glowing night sky, she quietly opened the wooden gate and stepped into the peaceful garden, unaware that someone inside the cottage had been waiting for her arrival for many, many years. The wooden gate closed gently behind Evelyn without making a sound. A narrow stone path led through a peaceful garden filled with blooming white roses, lavender, and tiny glowing flowers that swayed slowly beneath the moonlight. Their sweet fragrance filled the cool night air, making every breath feel calm and refreshing. The little white fox walked ahead until it reached the front porch of the cottage. There it quietly sat down, as if its journey had ended. Evelyn slowly climbed the small wooden steps. Before she could raise her hand to knock, the old wooden door opened by itself. A warm golden light spilled softly into the garden. Inside stood an elderly woman with long silver hair flowing over a pale blue cloak. Her gentle smile carried the warmth of someone who had spent a lifetime welcoming lost travelers. Her bright eyes reflected the same peaceful glow that filled the valley. Without surprise, without fear, she simply smiled. "Welcome home, Evelyn." The words were soft, yet they echoed deep inside her heart. Evelyn stood silently. She had never seen this woman before. Yet hearing her name spoken with such kindness felt strangely familiar. The elderly woman stepped aside. "Please come inside. You've traveled a very long way." The cottage felt warm and peaceful. A small fireplace crackled quietly, filling the room with gentle orange light. Wooden shelves held hundreds of old books, each carefully arranged beside glowing lanterns and tiny potted flowers. A kettle rested above the fire, releasing the comforting scent of herbal tea. Everything felt simple. Everything felt safe. The woman poured 2 cups of warm tea and placed one before Evelyn. Neither of them hurried to speak. For several peaceful moments, they simply listened to the sound of the fire. Finally, the woman smiled. "Most people spend their lives searching for happiness somewhere far away." She looked toward the window where the silver tree shimmered beneath the moon. But happiness has never been far away. It quietly waits inside the moments we often forget to notice. Evelyn lowered her eyes. She thought about the endless roads she had walked, the places she had visited, the dreams she had chased. Perhaps she had been searching in the wrong direction all along. The elderly woman gently placed a small silver lantern on the wooden table. Inside it floated the same peaceful light Evelyn had seen along the ancient path. "This lantern doesn't guide your feet," she whispered. "It guides your heart." The tiny flame shimmered softly. At that very moment, the white fox quietly stood beside the doorway once again. It looked toward the window. Outside, snow-white petals drifted gently across the moonlit garden. Something beautiful was about to begin. Evelyn wrapped her hands around the warm cup of tea, smiled peacefully, and knew that the secret valley still held many gentle mysteries waiting beyond the quiet night. The old woman gently lifted the silver lantern from the wooden table. Its tiny light shimmered softly, filling the quiet cottage with a peaceful glow. She smiled at Evelyn. "There is one place in this valley that very few travelers ever see." Her voice was calm, almost like the gentle sound of the river outside. "It is called the Valley of Falling Stars." Evelyn listened quietly. "Every night," the old woman continued, "the stars leave small pieces of their light there. They don't fall because they are dying. They fall because even the brightest light must sometimes rest." The little white fox stood and quietly walked toward the door, as if it already knew the way. The 3 of them stepped outside. The cool night air greeted them once again. Above, the moon shone brighter than before, lighting the peaceful valley with soft silver light. The garden was silent except for the gentle whisper of flowers moving with the breeze. They followed another narrow trail that climbed slowly toward the hills. The path became brighter with every step. Tiny glowing flowers lined both sides of the trail, opening one after another as Evelyn walked past them. It felt as though the valley itself was quietly welcoming her deeper into its hidden heart. After several peaceful minutes, they reached the top of a grassy hill. Evelyn stopped in complete silence. Before her stretched a wide meadow unlike anything she had ever imagined. Thousands of tiny lights floated gently through the night sky. Some drifted slowly downward like snowflakes made of silver. Others rested among the tall grass, glowing softly without fading. The entire meadow sparkled beneath the moon like a living ocean of stars. The old woman quietly placed a lantern on the ground. Immediately, one tiny falling light floated toward it and disappeared inside. The lantern glowed a little brighter. Evelyn watched in amazement. "Every light you see," the old woman whispered, "belongs to someone's forgotten hope. Hope is never destroyed. It simply waits until someone is ready to believe again." A gentle breeze crossed the meadow. The floating lights danced quietly around them before continuing their peaceful journey across the valley. The white fox lay down in the glowing grass, peacefully watching the stars above. Evelyn slowly closed her eyes. For the first time in many years, she wished for nothing. She needed nothing. The silence, the moon, the glowing meadow. Everything she had been searching for had been here all along. As she opened her eyes again, one bright silver star slowly drifted toward her hands and stopped, floating quietly before her. The tiny silver star floated gently before Evelyn, glowing with a quiet warmth that felt strangely familiar. It never touched her hands. Instead, it slowly circled around her before drifting toward a narrow trail hidden beyond the meadow. The elderly woman smiled. "It has chosen to guide you." The little white fox stood once again, stretching quietly before following the glowing star into the darkness. Evelyn walked beside them, surrounded by thousands of peaceful lights dancing through the cool night air. The trail became softer beneath her feet. Tall silver grass swayed gently in the breeze, making a quiet whisper that blended perfectly with the distant sound of flowing water. Soon another gentle sound reached her ears. Water. Not a rushing river. Not a waterfall. Something slower. Calmer. As the trees slowly opened, Evelyn discovered a beautiful lake resting beneath the moonlight. Its surface was perfectly still. Not a single ripple disturbed the crystal water. The moon reflected so clearly that it felt as though another sky existed beneath the lake. The silver star drifted toward the center of the water. Without making a sound, it disappeared beneath the surface. For several peaceful seconds, nothing happened. Then tiny circles of light spread across the lake, one after another, like gentle rain touching silent water. Slowly, glowing lotus flowers began rising from beneath the surface. Each flower opened quietly, revealing a soft, golden light inside its petals. Within every flower floated a tiny memory. A mother singing a lullaby to her child. Two friends laughing beneath autumn trees. A lonely traveler finding the courage to smile again. Simple moments. Gentle moments. Moments that reminded the heart how beautiful life could be. Evelyn watched without speaking. The lake wasn't showing the past. It was protecting hope. The elderly woman stepped beside her. This is the lake of forgotten dreams. Whenever someone believes their dreams have disappeared, the lake keeps them safe until they are ready to dream again. A gentle breeze crossed the water. The glowing lotus flowers swayed together like thousands of tiny lanterns floating across the peaceful lake. The white fox quietly sat at the shore, its blue eyes reflecting the moon above. Everything felt perfectly still. Perfectly safe. Evelyn slowly knelt beside the water. She reached out carefully. The moment her fingertips touched the surface, tiny silver ripples spread gently across the lake. The glowing flowers became brighter. The stars above seemed closer. For one peaceful moment, the entire valley breathed together. Evelyn closed her eyes. She realized she had stopped searching, because somewhere along the journey, she had already found exactly what her heart had been looking for. Far across the lake, a single golden light suddenly appeared between the trees. The elderly woman looked toward it and smiled. "It is time," she whispered. The golden light shimmered quietly beyond the trees, rising and falling like a slow heartbeat. Evelyn looked toward it with gentle curiosity. The elderly woman lifted the silver lantern, and the little white fox silently began walking once again. The narrow trail followed the edge of the lake before entering another peaceful forest. Here, the trees stood farther apart, allowing soft moonlight to cover the ground like silver silk. Every leaf, every stone, and every flower glowed gently beneath the quiet night sky. A sweet fragrance drifted through the cool air. It smelled of lavender, fresh rain, and blooming jasmine. After a short walk, the trees opened into a breathtaking garden. Thousands of glowing flowers covered the rolling hills. White lilies, blue roses, golden orchids, and silver blossoms shimmered beneath the moonlight. Tiny butterflies made of light floated peacefully above the flowers, leaving sparkling trails behind them. Evelyn stepped slowly into the garden. To her surprise, not a single flower bent beneath her feet. It felt as though the meadow welcomed every traveler with quiet kindness. The elderly woman smiled warmly. "This is the Midnight Garden. It blooms only while the world is asleep. When the morning sun rises, every flower quietly closes until night returns." The little white fox stopped beside one unusual flower. Its transparent petals glowed like crystal. Inside floated a tiny golden light. The elderly woman gently touched the flower. "It blooms only once for each traveler. It reflects the peace carried inside the heart." Evelyn watched quietly. The flower slowly became brighter. She realized she no longer felt lost. She wasn't searching for answers anymore. She was simply enjoying the peaceful journey. A gentle breeze crossed the garden. Thousands of glowing petals drifted upward into the night sky like tiny wishes returning to the stars. Everything became still. The flowers, the butterflies, the quiet wind. Together they formed a peaceful lullaby that filled the entire valley. Far beyond the glowing meadow, Evelyn noticed a magnificent white stone arch shining beneath the moonlight. Its surface reflected silver light like calm water. The elderly woman looked toward it with a gentle smile. "The moon gate is waiting." Without another word, The little white fox quietly walked toward the glowing arch. Evelyn followed, feeling that every peaceful step was leading her closer to the greatest secret hidden inside the valley. The white stone arch stood quietly beneath the full moon, glowing with a soft silver light. It was taller than any gate Evelyn had ever seen, yet there were no walls surrounding it. It stood alone, peaceful and mysterious, as though it had been waiting for countless years. The little white fox stopped before the arch and looked back at Evelyn. Its bright blue eyes reflected the moonlight. The elderly woman stepped forward and gently placed the silver lantern at the center of the gate. The tiny flame inside immediately became brighter. A gentle hum filled the silent valley. Not loud, not frightening, only soft enough to feel inside the heart. Slowly, silver patterns began to appear across the surface of the ancient stone. They shimmered like flowing water, forming beautiful symbols that neither Evelyn nor anyone else could read. The air became warmer. The flowers around the gate slowly turned toward its light. Even the butterflies of light gathered quietly above the arch. The elderly woman smiled. For centuries, this gate has opened only for those who arrive with a peaceful heart. It never judges. It only listens. Evelyn stepped closer. She reached out slowly. The moment her fingertips touched the glowing stone, a wave of warm light gently surrounded her. She felt no fear, only peace. The silver light spread across the arch until the empty space inside slowly filled with a glowing curtain of moonlight. It looked like a calm river flowing through the air. The little white fox walked through it first. Instead of disappearing, its glowing figure could still be seen on the other side. The elderly woman nodded gently. "It is safe." Evelyn took one deep, peaceful breath. Then she stepped forward. For a brief moment, the world around her became silent. There was no wind, no sound, only soft silver light. When she opened her eyes again, she found herself standing beneath a sky more beautiful than any she had ever imagined. The stars looked larger, brighter, closer. Gentle streams of silver light flowed across the heavens like slow rivers. The air shimmered with thousands of tiny glowing particles drifting peacefully through the night. Ahead stood an enormous hill crowned by a single glowing tree whose branches stretched toward the stars. The little white fox waited quietly beneath it. As Evelyn began walking toward the hill, she realized the secret valley still held one final mystery. A place where every peaceful journey found its true meaning. The silver path stretched quietly beneath Evelyn's feet, glowing softly with every step she took. Above her, thousands of brilliant stars filled the endless sky, shining brighter than she had ever imagined possible. It felt as though the heavens had moved closer, wrapping the entire valley in peaceful light. The little white fox continued walking ahead, never rushing, never looking afraid. It seemed to know every stone and every flower along the glowing path. As they climbed the gentle hill, the great tree slowly came into view. It was unlike the silver tree Evelyn had seen before. This tree shimmered with countless tiny lights flowing through its branches like rivers of stars. Every leaf sparkled gently, changing from silver to gold and back again whenever the cool night breeze touched them. Beneath the tree stood a quiet circle of smooth white stones. The elderly woman stopped at the edge of the circle. "This," she whispered, "is the heart tree. It has watched over the secret valley since the first dream was ever born. Evelyn stepped closer. The air around the tree felt warm and peaceful. She could hear no words, only a gentle heartbeat. Slow, steady, comforting. The sound seemed to come from the tree itself. The little white fox quietly lay beneath its roots, closing its eyes as though resting in a place it had always called home. The elderly woman gently lifted the silver lantern once more. Its light slowly floated upward until it settled among the glowing branches. Immediately, the entire tree became brighter. Thousands of tiny lights drifted gently into the sky like glowing seeds carried by the wind. Evelyn watched in silence. The lights did not disappear. Instead, they joined the stars above, making the night even more beautiful. The elderly woman smiled. Every peaceful heart leaves a little light behind. That light becomes part of this tree. And from this tree, it returns to the world as hope. A cool breeze crossed the hill. The branches swayed softly, filling the valley with a quiet melody that sounded almost like a lullaby. Evelyn closed her eyes. She felt no sadness, no fear, only gratitude. For the journey, for the silence, for every peaceful step that had brought her here. When she opened her eyes again, she noticed something hidden beneath the roots of the heart tree. A small wooden chest, old, beautifully carved, and glowing with a faint golden light. The elderly woman looked toward it. A gentle smile appeared on her face. "It has been waiting for you." The little white fox slowly stood, its bright blue eyes fixed upon the mysterious chest as the peaceful wind whispered through the glowing branches above. The little wooden chest rested quietly beneath the roots of the heart tree, glowing with a soft, golden light. It looked ancient yet untouched by time. Evelyn slowly knelt beside it. There was no lock, no key, only a small carving of a single star on its lid. The elderly woman smiled gently. "It only opens for someone who no longer carries fear." Evelyn placed both hands upon the smooth wood. For a brief moment, nothing happened. Then the tiny silver star that had guided her through the valley floated gently down from the branches above. It rested softly upon the carved symbol. A warm golden light spread across the chest. With a quiet click, the lid slowly opened. Inside, there was no treasure, no gold, no jewels, only a single feather glowing with silver light. It floated gently into the air, as light as a drifting snowflake. Evelyn watched in silence. The feather circled around her once before resting softly in the palm of her hand. The moment it touched her skin, the valley became completely still. The wind paused. The leaves stopped moving. Even the stars above seemed brighter. Around her, tiny lights slowly appeared. They floated through the air like peaceful memories, surrounding the heart tree with a warm golden glow. She saw smiling faces, children running through fields, parents holding their families close, old friends laughing together beneath autumn skies. They were not visions of the past. They were reminders. Small moments that made every life beautiful. The elderly woman stepped beside her. Many travelers believe happiness waits somewhere far ahead. She looked toward the endless stars. But the valley teaches something different. Happiness grows quietly inside ordinary moments. the warmth of a home, a kind smile, a peaceful evening beneath the sky. The love we choose to share. Evelyn closed her fingers around the glowing feather. She finally understood why every place in the secret valley had felt so peaceful. The valley had never been changing her. It had simply been helping her remember who she had always been. The little white fox walked beside her once more. It gently brushed against her hand before looking toward the horizon. Far away, the first faint color of dawn began touching the edge of the sky. The longest night inside the secret valley was slowly coming to an end. Yet somehow, Evelyn knew the journey itself was only beginning. The glowing feather rested gently in Evelyn's hand, filling her heart with a quiet warmth that words could never describe. Around the heart tree, thousands of tiny lights slowly drifted upward, disappearing into the fading night like peaceful dreams returning to the stars. The first colors of dawn began touching the distant mountains. Soft shades of blue, gentle pink, warm gold. The sky awakened slowly, without hurry. The elderly woman looked toward the horizon and smiled. The valley always changes with the sunrise. The night protects dreams, but the morning reminds us to carry them home. Evelyn looked around one last time. The glowing flowers still shimmered across the hills. The silver river flowed peacefully through the valley. The heart tree stood proudly beneath the brightening sky, its branches sparkling with the light of countless hopes. Everything looked familiar now, not because she had lived there, but because the valley had become part of her heart. The little white fox walked beside her as they slowly made their way down the hill. The morning breeze was cool and gentle. Birds began singing from the treetops, their soft melodies blending with the quiet sound of flowing water. As they reached the edge of the meadow, Evelyn noticed something surprising. The valley of falling stars had changed. The tiny lights that had filled the grass during the night were gone. In their place bloomed thousands of fresh white flowers, their petals glowing softly beneath the morning sun. The elderly woman noticed Evelyn's smile. "The stars never disappear," she whispered. "They simply become something beautiful for the next traveler." Evelyn knelt beside one of the flowers. A single drop of morning dew rested upon its petals, shining like a tiny crystal. She gently touched it. The drop reflected the entire valley. The mountains, the river, the silver tree. Even the little white fox standing patiently beside her. She smiled. Every memory of the journey would remain with her forever. The peaceful silence, the glowing nights, the gentle voices of the forest. None of them would ever truly fade. Far ahead, the familiar wooden bridge came into view once again. Beyond it lay the path that had first brought her into the secret valley. The elderly woman stopped walking. "This is where every journey home begins." The white fox quietly sat beside the bridge, looking toward Evelyn with the same calm eyes that had welcomed her into the valley. The morning sunlight grew brighter. A gentle breeze crossed the river. For a long moment, no one spoke, because sometimes the most meaningful goodbyes are shared in peaceful silence. The morning breeze carried the sweet scent of wildflowers across the valley. Evelyn stood quietly beside the old wooden bridge, watching the peaceful river sparkle beneath the rising sun. The secret valley no longer glowed with silver moonlight, yet it seemed even more beautiful in the soft, golden light of dawn. The little white fox slowly walked toward her. For the first time since they had met, it gently rested its head against her hand. Evelyn smiled and softly stroked its snowy fur. "Thank you," she whispered. The fox looked into her eyes for a long moment, as though it understood every word without hearing a single sound. Behind them, the elderly woman approached with slow, gentle steps. "The valley never says goodbye," she said with a peaceful smile. "It simply waits. It waits for every heart that remembers kindness, hope, and quiet moments." She carefully took the glowing silver feather from Evelyn's hands. For a brief moment, it floated above the river, shining brighter than ever before. Then, with a gentle touch, the elderly woman placed it back into Evelyn's palm. "Keep it. It will never lose its light. Whenever life feels heavy, whenever the world becomes too loud, simply remember this place. The path will always find you." Evelyn closed her fingers around the feather. It felt warm, comforting, almost alive. A gentle wind crossed the valley. The branches of the silver tree swayed softly. The heart tree shimmered in the distance. Even the river seemed to whisper one final lullaby. Evelyn took one last look around. The flower-covered hills, the crystal water, the peaceful forests. Every place she had walked now felt like a memory she would carry forever. The little white fox stepped onto the bridge. Halfway across, it stopped and looked back one final time. Its bright blue eyes reflected the morning sky. Then it quietly disappeared into the glowing forest beyond. The elderly woman smiled. "Our time together is ending, but your story is only beginning." Evelyn nodded gently. With a peaceful heart, she stepped onto the bridge. Each step carried her closer to the world she had left behind. Yet somehow, she no longer felt like the same traveler who had first entered the valley. The secret valley had given her no riches, no crown, no magic to rule the world. It had given her something far greater, a heart that finally understood the beauty of peace. The old wooden bridge stretched peacefully before Evelyn as the morning sun climbed higher into the sky. Every step she took felt calm, yet each one carried the quiet weight of leaving behind a place she had grown to love. She paused in the middle of the bridge. The crystal river flowed gently beneath her, reflecting both the golden sunrise and the fading stars above. For a brief moment, night and morning seemed to exist together, as though the valley wished to hold on to one last magical memory. Evelyn looked back. The little white fox had disappeared into the forest. The elderly woman stood beside the bridge, smiling with the same quiet kindness she had shown from the very beginning. She raised one hand in a silent farewell. No words were needed. Some goodbyes are too peaceful for words. Evelyn smiled and placed her hand over her heart. Then she continued walking. As she reached the other side of the bridge, something extraordinary happened. A gentle morning mist slowly drifted across the valley. The silver tree became softer. The hills faded into pale light. The crystal river shimmered one final time before disappearing behind the mist. Little by little, the secret valley seemed to melt into the morning air, as though it had never existed at all. Only one thing remained: the silver feather resting safely in Evelyn's hand. Its soft glow had not faded, Instead, it shone even brighter beneath the rising sun. The forest around her slowly became familiar again. The ordinary pine trees returned. Birds sang cheerfully among the branches. The narrow woodland path looked exactly as it had before she discovered the hidden valley. Yet everything felt different. Not because the world had changed, but because she had. Evelyn took a slow breath of the cool morning air. She no longer hurried. She no longer searched for something beyond the next hill. For the first time in many years, simply walking beneath the open sky felt enough. A gentle breeze brushed against her face. Somewhere far behind her, carried softly by the wind, she thought she heard the faint laughter of the little white fox. She smiled. Perhaps it was only the wind. Or perhaps the secret valley was reminding her that its path would always remain open to those who carried peace within their hearts. With quiet confidence, Evelyn continued down the forest trail, carrying nothing more than a glowing feather, and a heart forever changed by one unforgettable night. The morning sun climbed higher as Evelyn continued along the quiet forest trail. Birds sang gently above her, and golden rays filtered through the tall pine trees, painting soft patterns across the ground. After some time, the narrow path opened into the small clearing where her journey had first begun. Everything looked exactly the same. The old wooden bench still rested beneath the towering oak tree. Wildflowers swayed peacefully in the breeze. A small stream flowed nearby, singing the same gentle melody it always had. Yet something felt wonderfully different. Evelyn smiled. Not because the world had changed, but because she had learned to see it with new eyes. She sat quietly on the wooden bench and opened her hand. The silver feather still rested there, glowing softly beneath the morning light. Its gentle glow reminded her that the secret valley had never been a dream. It had been real. Perhaps hidden from most people, but real enough to change a heart forever. A gentle breeze drifted across the clearing. For a brief moment, tiny silver lights danced through the air before disappearing into the sunlight. Evelyn looked toward the distant forest. The entrance to the secret valley was gone. There was only an ordinary woodland path leading between the trees. She smiled softly. Some places are never meant to be found with maps. They reveal themselves only to those who are ready. She carefully placed the silver feather inside her small leather journal, between two empty pages. One day, someone else might discover its story. Or perhaps, it would simply remain her quiet reminder that peace can always be found by those who slow down enough to notice it. The wind became still. The forest grew silent. For one peaceful moment, Evelyn closed her eyes. She listened. The birds, the stream, the whisper of leaves. They sounded almost identical to the gentle music of the secret valley. Perhaps they had always sounded that way. She had simply never taken the time to hear them. When she opened her eyes again, the world seemed brighter. Every ordinary moment carried a little more beauty. Every breath felt lighter. Every step felt calmer. With a grateful heart, Evelyn stood once more. She adjusted her backpack, smiled toward the quiet forest, and slowly began walking home. Behind her, hidden somewhere beyond the morning mist, the secret valley rested peacefully. waiting for the next gentle soul who needed to remember that the greatest magic in life is often found in silence, kindness, and hope. Days quietly turned into weeks. The busy world around Evelyn remained the same. The streets were still filled with hurried footsteps. The mornings arrived with the same golden sunlight. Even the evening sky still welcomed the first stars one by one. Yet inside Evelyn, everything had changed. She no longer rushed through each day. Instead, she noticed the little things that had once escaped her attention. The gentle sound of rain against her window. The comforting warmth of a cup of tea on a quiet afternoon. The peaceful colors of the sky just before sunset. Every ordinary moment carried a quiet kind of magic. One afternoon, she opened her leather journal. The silver feather still rested safely between its pages. Its soft glow had never faded. Whenever she looked at it, she remembered the peaceful river, the heart tree, the midnight garden, and the tiny white fox that had guided her through the valley. She smiled. The memories no longer felt distant. They felt alive. As the seasons slowly changed, Evelyn found herself sharing more kindness with the people around her. She smiled more often. She listened more carefully. She offered comfort without expecting anything in return. To her surprise, even the smallest acts of kindness seemed to brighten someone else's day. It reminded her of the tiny lights that had floated beneath the heart tree. Perhaps hope really did travel from one heart to another. One quiet evening, Evelyn returned to the old forest where her journey had begun. The familiar wooden bench still stood beneath the great oak tree. She sat there as the sun slowly disappeared beyond the hills. The forest was calm. The breeze carried the scent of pine and wildflowers. Everything felt peaceful. For a long while, she simply listened. Then, very softly, she heard it. A quiet rustle among the trees. Evelyn looked toward the forest path. Nothing was there. Only golden leaves dancing in the evening breeze. She smiled anyway. Some mysteries never need to be explained. Some friendships never truly end. As the first evening star appeared above the trees, the silver feather gave one final gentle glow. Not bright enough to surprise her, only enough to remind her. The secret valley had never really disappeared. It lived wherever peace, kindness, and hope were welcomed. Evelyn closed her journal and looked toward the darkening forest with quiet gratitude. Somewhere beyond those ancient trees, a tiny white fox was still watching over the valley, waiting patiently for the next traveler whose heart was ready to find the path. Years quietly passed. The seasons continued their endless dance. Spring covered the forests with fresh blossoms. Summer filled the rivers with sparkling light. Autumn painted every tree in shades of gold. Winter wrapped the mountains beneath peaceful blankets of snow. Life continued just as it always had. But whenever the world became too busy, whenever the days felt heavy, Evelyn would return to the old forest. She never searched for the secret valley. She simply walked the familiar path with a peaceful heart. Sometimes she would sit beneath the ancient oak tree for hours, listening to the wind moving gently through the branches. Sometimes she would watch the quiet river flowing beside the trail. And sometimes, she would simply close her eyes. On those peaceful evenings, the silver feather inside her journal would glow softly once again. Never brightly. Never for long. Only enough to remind her that true magic never asks to be seen. It only asks to be remembered. One quiet autumn evening, as the last light of sunset disappeared beyond the hills, Evelyn heard a gentle sound behind her. A single footstep. She slowly turned. No one was there. Only the peaceful forest. The falling leaves. And for just a brief moment, a tiny white fox stood between the trees. Its snowy fur shimmered beneath the fading light. Its bright blue eyes met hers one last time. It gave the smallest nod, then quietly disappeared into the forest. Evelyn smiled. There was no sadness, only gratitude, because she finally understood. The secret valley had never been hidden inside the forest. It had always been growing quietly inside her heart. Every act of kindness, every peaceful sunrise, every moment spent listening instead of rushing, every smile freely given. That was the real path back to the valley. She placed her hand over the leather journal resting beside her. The silver feather gave one final, gentle glow. Above her, the first evening stars slowly appeared. The same stars that had once guided her through the magical valley. The same stars that now watched peacefully over the entire world. Evelyn stood slowly. She looked toward the endless sky. Then she whispered only 3 quiet words. Thank you, always. A gentle breeze carried her words into the forest. Far away, hidden beyond the trees, the heart tree shimmered beneath the moon. The silver river continued its peaceful song. The midnight garden quietly bloomed once again. And somewhere deep inside the secret valley, the little white fox waited patiently for another traveler whose heart was ready to discover hope. Perhaps, one peaceful evening, that traveler will be you. Until then, may your dreams be gentle, may your heart stay light, and may every quiet night remind you that the greatest magic in life is not found in distant places, but inside the peace we choose to carry every single day. Thank you for spending this peaceful journey with ABD's creations. If this story brought you comfort, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could use a quiet moment. Sleep peacefully, dream beautifully, and we'll meet again in the next bedtime story. Good night.